Hello, Flosstube. Welcome back. My name is Candace, and this is a channel mostly about cross-stitch. Today at the very end, I'm going to talk a little bit about knitting. My knitting mojo seems to have come back just a little bit. So I have some previous finishes from that and something I'm working on right now, just a couple things, maybe like 5 minutes at the end of the video. So it is week 2 of Maynia. And I know last week I filmed on Friday, and that video took almost 12 hours to upload. It was nuts. It was nuts. It took so long. So I decided to definitely this week go back to Wednesday. I know a lot of people are making floss tubes right now, and I'm really enjoying it. So I see the pull of making one because I'm really having a good time. But let's see, things are beautiful today. My kids and my husband are outside. I asked them to give me like a half an hour just to do this video in the living room with great light. Not a green background, green and white background. Last week I blow dried my hair and I put makeup on because since I haven't worked since March 13th, my makeup has been feeling a little neglected. So I got done with my video and I came out to eat lunch, and my son, my youngest, who is 6, asked me, "Mommy, are you going back to work?" And I said, "No, buddy, why?" And he said, "Because your hair and makeup are done." So yeah, even my kids are like, "Yeah, Mom, you're looking rough the rest of the week." So today I decided I would try and hide the fact that I need a haircut really bad and that I need to color my hair really bad with curls. So hopefully that's distracting enough and you won't look too closely at the roots and the grays and all that good stuff. So let's see, on to stitching. This week, there won't be 7 because it was, because I filmed on Friday last week. So this week, get my little book out here, would be May 8th was for, I believe that was Friday. I did Summer Smalls by Lizzie Kate. So I just did that one right there. Just the summer one. I'm going to do the other 3 sometime this summer probably. Or maybe in the fall. But I finished it. Start and finish all in one day. So I just used DMC. I didn't use any of the fancy floss. I figure these are so small that there's not really, I don't know. I feel like there's not a reason for me to use fancy floss on this. So, and if you hear my kids out there, I apologize, but I'm just so glad they're outside that we finally have a nice, sunny, 60-degree day for them to go ride their bikes. So that's Lizzie Kate. That's the Summer Small. And it took, I would say, probably like 7-ish hours to do, but I had a lot of time to stitch that day. I believe the weather was icky, and I was waiting for my video to upload, so I had to keep checking on the tablet. The next one I did on May 9th is Welcome to Spring by Cherry Hill Stitchery. And this one, I don't know what happened on Saturday. I started stitching and I was like, gosh, I just don't feel like stitching. I did get this much done. And I'm just using DMC on this as well. And that's on 28 count white Monaco. So, I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling it. And instead, my knitting bug came back. So after I did that part, my husband and I were watching TV and I got up, and on that bookcase over there on the top shelf next to that picture is where I keep this project. And her name is, I believe it's Tannei Casey on Etsy. I will link it below, but she makes the most amazing bags. And this is my, one of my project bags for knitting. But I went and got that, and I pulled up my pattern, and I figured out where I was at, and I started knitting. So then on Sunday, it was Mother's Day, I I feel like I didn't have a ton of time to stitch, but I also was very distracted. The kids were being cool, and they were like, we played a little bit on the Switch, you know, we had lunch, and I, of course, if I had the pattern right side out, we'd be all set. I didn't think about it when I scheduled what I was going to start when, and I had put down Kringles for Sunday, Mother's Day. And I honestly, like, I love this and I can't wait to stitch it, but I was just not, I wasn't in the mood to stitch it. And instead of, you know, changing it up, I got a start on it. That's it. That's all I got. It is 1.5 rows of the very top where the snow is in eggshell. That's it. That's all I got done on Sunday. And then I picked up my knitting again. And I will tell you what, man, knitting is like riding a bike. You just start going and you just don't want to stop. So, Kringles is on, if I can get everything back in there. Kringles is on 28 count Whisper Lugana. And I'm using 3 of the Classic Colorworks and the rest DMC. So I'm using Eggshell, Campfire, and Black Coffee because they're the most used, and I think they really lend themselves to, you know, to the roof and then to the bricks. I think in this, it's definitely, I mean, it's not like you have to use Classic Colorworks on this project, but I really love the way it looks, and I want this piece to be something that passed down to my kids. So then we move on to Monday. And I had a lot of stitching time on Monday because this is my kids' last week of e-learning. Today was actually their last day of school. Here in Indiana, I'm not sure if it's all of Indiana, but at least in our area, e-learning was put in place way before the quarantine stuff ever happened. So it was not a new thing to us with them doing learning online. This was not new to us. So basically, as soon as March 13th was the last day that they were at school and that I was at work. It was also my son's 8th birthday. So that following Monday, the, 16th? I can hear them banging around and I hope no one's falling off bikes. So Monday the 16th, they started right up with e-learning. Because at first they only thought it was going to be a couple of days. Then it was a week, then it was 2 weeks, then we had spring break. So we never missed any time for school. I know some states, they had nothing in place. They had nothing at all. So we were really lucky. So today was our last day of school. But on Monday, it was kind of icky out. I had a stitching bug going. So I did Lizzie Kate's Thankful String. The whole thing, start to finish. And I just used the DMC substitutions for all of the, I believe it's Weeks Dye Works that she calls for. That leaf, I love it. I love that leaf. I kind of want to make a big one and just, you know, check out that turkey. So that is Lizzie Kate's Thankful String. This is on 28 count Mushroom Lugana. And there's the pattern for you. So that is a start and a finish. So that's my second one so far for Maynia, having a start and a finish. So then yesterday I don't know how I managed to do this, but I had another string. I had Buzzy string, which was super fun to stitch, but we had the weather was not bad. It was mid-50s yesterday, and my youngest, one of his projects was a scavenger hunt. And there was a list for an inside scavenger hunt, and then there was a list for an outside scavenger hunt. My husband's like, why don't we go, there is a subdivision not far from here that's very wooded. The houses are very spread apart. Literally, they only cut down enough trees to build the house. So it's trees everywhere. Then they have this big open field, and there is like trails all through the woods and through this field, and there's hills that you had no idea were even over there, but it's only about a mile and a half from our house. So we loaded up the dogs, we drove over there, and we figured we'd just kill two birds with one stone. We would walk the dogs and do a scavenger hunt. So I didn't even start stitching until probably 4 o'clock yesterday. And this is what I got done on Buzzy string. I got to the ladybugs and I decided to stop. And it was probably, I don't know, 3 hours maybe worth of work. It's cute though. This one's super cute. And same thing, all my strings are going to be on 28 count mushroom Lugana. So I got that done, and my husband and I were just sitting here watching TV, and I couldn't help myself. Not only did I have one new start yesterday, I had 2 new starts. So Heaven and Earth Designs had a sale. I believe it ended yesterday or the day before. Yeah, today's the 13th. I think it ended yesterday. But they had a half off sale. So I guess we can do part haul, part start, because the only haul I have for this week is 2 charts from Heaven and Earth Designs. So this is Mini Dark Goddess. And I'm sorry, I have to show you on my tablet because I get PDF versions because I use Pattern Keeper. So I don't get the paper versions. Plus we're out of blue ink in our printer, so this one to print it out right anyway. So Mini Dark Goddess, I started this last night. And I got about 200, just over 200 stitches done. I just couldn't resist. I actually had this fabric for something different, so I had to cut part of it off. But there's enough left for another chart, another mini chart. So I just grabbed this and put it in a cute stay up and started stitching. I don't have all the flosses for this. I just grabbed out of my big DMC box and just started stitching. So that one is on 25 count Easy Grid Lugana. And then the other one I got was the Mini Goddess of Passion. So I plan on stitching both of these and then hanging them next to each other. And this is Mini Goddess of Passion. So pretty. And the designer of these charts actually has more flowers like this. These were, I'm going to butcher her last name, Cavalaris. I hope I'm saying it right. Here, I'll show you there we go. And I'll link it down below too. Or at least put her name in down below. But, these two are the ones that just really, really caught my eye and I really wanted to do. So, I started that. Oops. So, those are my whips for this week. Now on to plans. Today is, and I won't get this done today probably because it's already 2 o'clock and it's really nice outside, so I'll probably go hang outside with the kids for a little bit. But it's Lizzie Kate Spring Smalls. And I'm just going to do just the spring. I won't be doing the other 3 until later on, but spring will get done. 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. So, and I'll use DMC for that too. That one is today. And then tomorrow, I am doing, now I had gotten, I have purchased the digital versions of Just Cross Stitch magazine from like 2015, 2016, 2017-ish. All of the issues that I knew I wanted. And this one is from Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. And this is Seasons in Chalk Art Summer. So I'm going to start that one tomorrow. Ooh, there's a breeze. We have the windows open because it's so nice. So I'll be starting that one tomorrow, and I have just 14 count black Ada for that. But I do have one Weeks Dye Works, and then the rest are Classic Color Works. And these are colors that I just chose myself that were very similar. So it's Whitewash, Plymouth Rock, Ladybug, Golden Star, and Bean Sprout. So I'm excited for that because I like stitching on black. For Ada, I will put Ada or like my full coverage in a Q-snap. I feel like my stitches lay better on those fabrics when they're in a Q-snap. Usually anything like a 28 count Monaco or Lugana or something, I'll just stitch in hand with. Unless my stitches start to look icky, and then I'll throw it in a Q-snap. So I'm not particular. Whatever makes my stitches look best. So then Friday the 15th, I will be doing Tree Love by the Trilogy. I don't even have a bag for it because I know I'm going to finish it. And then Saturday, what do you know? It's another string. It's spring string. So, a little late to the party on the Easter Bunny there, but I'll have it for next year. I just need to figure out how I'm going to finish them all. And then Sunday will be Little Dove Designs Autumn Glows. And just using DMC on this one. I will probably start with the border. I don't know, I'm really digging that tree though. That tree right there. So maybe I'll do just like the top part of the border and then start in that first band. And this one is using 14 count oatmeal Ada. And no, I didn't get any more bags made. But with my husband going back to work on Monday, we are not opening yet. The casino is not opening. But he's got to go back in and do some stuff on the tech side for the slot machines. So they're going to be requiring masks. Even when we reopen, we're going to be required to wear masks. So I am going to start making some better, like, form-fitted masks for him that will be comfortable for him to work, you know, a 9-hour shift in. So I know it's still not going to be great, but. All right, so then Monday we have another trilogy chart, and it's Cheer. And this one also does not have a bag because I'm fairly confident I can finish that in a day. And then on Tuesday, once again, my most favorite bag ever. Made by me. Fabric by me. So then Tuesday, before I come back and see you again, I have Summer Blooms. Now this one, I don't know, that house is kind of drawing me in a little bit, this house. But then again, so's the second band. So I don't know. I'll probably start the border and then maybe I'll sneak into one of the bands just to switch it up a bit. So that one is on Antique White, 14 count Ada. So that'll be Tuesday, and then I'll come back and see you guys on Wednesday with... I hope you didn't just hear my husband. I think, yeah, so that's basically it. Those are my plans for next week. I have a feeling that I will probably be pulling out either Dark Goddess or Mini Citrine every once in a while at night, especially if I finish up one of those just to stitch on, because I don't know, I'm really feeling the full coverage, and I don't think I'll ever become like a strictly full coverage stitcher. I like a lot of the other designs too, but it's really drawing me in, and I just love seeing the progress on them. So that's all I have for stitching this week. I want to say a huge thanks to Janet Jabber. She gave me a shout out yesterday in her video, and I just, every Tuesday I'm like, ooh, Janet's gonna be on, I gotta watch Janet. Just so down to earth and so real, and, you know, has different tastes, just like me. You know, I don't stitch just one thing, and she doesn't stitch just one thing. So it's fun to see all the variety from all the different Flosstubers. I had a chance to watch quite a bit of Flosstube this weekend, but not so much during the week. So I need to do some catching up. Maybe later today. We'll see. But that is it for the stitching portion. If you're interested in seeing some past finishes from knitting, stay tuned, because I'll just jump right into those. I'm just going to show one whip and 4 previous, I guess we'll call them previous finishes, but they're shawls that I had made the last couple of years. So first, let's start with my whip, the one that brought me back in. So again, this bag, look at that fox. I just love it. And it's kind of dirty. It goes with me to work too sometimes. So it was a mystery knit along that had started the end of last year. And it is from Telly Bean Knits. And you can find her on Ravelry. I believe that's also her Instagram name too. So you can find her on Instagram as well. If you don't know what it is, Ravelry is a social media for knitting, basically. I kind of wish there was one for cross stitch too. Then I would never get anything done. I spent a lot of time on Ravelry up until recently. I mean, I was always on there. The forums, the groups, there's so many helpful people and so many amazing patterns that 20 years ago you never would have known about unless it was in a magazine somewhere. So I love how technology has brought, I probably never would have started knitting if it wasn't for technology. YouTube taught me how to knit. So it's only fair that YouTube gets to see my knitting stuff that I've done. So now this I kept up during Clue 1 and the beginning of Clue 2, and then that's when stitching really came into play. So now this is going to be, it'll be a shawl, but this part right here, where the V is, was Clue 1. And then this, I want to say right to somewhere in here was Clue 2. I'm not sure. I downloaded the full pattern was released after the last Clue. So it's all in one now, and I'm not sure where the clues ended. But, so I actually did from this ribbing right here all the way down to the green in about 3 nights. So maybe 5 hours of stitching? I'm not sure. So I'm super excited about these colors, and I have this ends in greens, and then when I go to do this end over here, it's going to end in blues. And I can show you the colors. So here are my greens. These are Sunshine Yarns Classic Sock, and I pulled all of my gradient colors from different gradient sets that I had. So there wasn't a specific set for this, but Danny at Sunshine Yarns makes amazing yarn. Her dyes are gorgeous. They're amazing. This is my main color. I have my other ball for the other side. And I do have a Swift and a ball winder to wind my yarn. Uh-oh, I hear somebody coming. I'm missing a purple. There's 2 of my purples. I'm missing the other one. And then here are my blues, which have not been touched yet. So these are showing up more blue. They should have more of a green. I don't know. They are definitely not showing up quite. This is a more lighter blue teal, not quite so teal. So it's probably just the daylight in here, but now I'm stumped that I'm missing one of my purple colors. Oh no! And it's possible that I'm done with that color because it's this dark purple right here. So this is a super fun knit. It changes constantly. You don't have very many rows that go. That is some lace. And then there was, sorry, you don't want to see the back of that yet, without ends weaved in. Some more lace. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I have other whips. I wasn't going to go digging downstairs and try and find all the rest of them. I have other whips, so we'll just leave it at that. So, as far as, that was the tasting menu. We'll start with this one. I think my husband's trying to photobomb me, or video bomb me. So this one here, I'm going to start at one end and work my way to the other because it's long. This was mystery knit-along. I love mystery knit-alongs. I'm a sucker for an MKAL. Seriously. This one is called See Better from a Distance, and the designer is Sarah Florent with Woolly Dragon. Now, she not only designs patterns, but she also dyes yarn. This is, I'm trying to think of when this was. I want to say it was in early 2019 is when this one was. But you can get the entire pattern now. Again, it's called See Better from a Distance, and it's based off of the Marvel character Hawkeye. So, I'm just going to... It's funny because if you follow it down, you kind of start to see like the arrowheads. Those are kind of like targets. And then this end goes down into a point. So it's kind of like one big arrow. So like this is the fletching down here. So I did not get Woolly Dragon fiber. I had Goosey fiber in stash. And this is Goosey fiber sock. So it's a fingering weight yarn. I probably should have said that about the Sunshine one too. That's fingering. Most of my yarn is fingering weight. This color is Bygones, and then this accent color right here is called Carolina. And I love this thing. Is so it's just so, well, you don't want to see the back of it. It's so soft. I mean, this yarn, I love wearing this one. And I just wrap it around just like you would a regular scarf. I wear a lot of them to work. So that one was See Better from a Distance. And then Storm Shawl. This is Storm Shawl. This only used one skein of yarn and one skein of fingering weight yarn. Let me make sure I got it. I can't quite get the whole thing in, but you can see most of it. So this is a design by Joji Locatelli. She is, man, she's an amazing designer. I have stitched numerous. I probably should have counted. Definitely over 10 of her designs. Probably more like 20. This one right here was awesome because it only took one skein of yarn. So when you have those random skeins in your stash and you're like, what am I going to do with this one? It's like it doesn't go with anything else. You make something like this. Now, this yarn is Expression Fiber Arts. And I'm going to apologize if you see any flaws in some of these dropped stitches because my cat got to this one when it was an itty bitty kitten, and I did not realize that she had gotten to it. So there are some pulled stitches that I need to kind of get back into place. But so the yarn is Expression Fiber Arts, and the colorway is called No Excuses. And it's gorgeous. It's just, you know, a heavily variegated sock yarn, fingering weight. And this is a really light one. This is great for work also. But it's just, you can use anything. You could use a solid with this. You could use a highly variegated. I mean, it's just such a fun, quick knit. The next one was the Perfect Blend. Nope, not that one. Perfect Blend Mystery Knit Along. This one I actually kept up with when I did it. This one was in 2019. This is from Casapinka. And I used Sunshine Yarns, and she had a gradient called Downton Abbey. So all of these colors are very reminiscent of that time period. But I'll start with one end because this sucker's huge, and then I'll kind of show you as much as I can. And the one end is very long and skinny, and then it goes into a regular V-shaped shawl. It's so gorgeous. So this is definitely the type of stuff that I enjoy knitting. I love knitting shawls. I like the process of it. I have some that I never even wear anymore, but I loved knitting them, so I have a bunch. So this one, yeah, Sunshine Yarns Classic Sock. It's just been so long, I feel like I'm out of my knitting groove to be able to tell you exactly what it was. But there's a lot of texture in this one. There are some cables. You've got some drop stitches. Yeah, I guess it is drop stitches. Now I feel like I'm going to confuse stitching and knitting all the time. And then the last one I have to show you, this is actually a really old one. This was early in my knitting journey. And this one, make sure I have it on the right side here. This one is from a designer. Her name is Melanie Berg. On Ravelry, she goes by Mairlynd, and it's Mairlynd. And that's the name of her Instagram as well. This one is called The Joker and the Thief. And I used a sunshine gradient that was made specifically for this pattern. This was actually the second one of these I did. The first one, I created my own gradient at the local yarn shop over by my mother-in-law, which has since closed. They retired, so that yarn shop just closed back in March, I believe, which was probably good timing for them. But I loved it so much that I had to do it again. So this gradient was called the Cherry Blossom Gradient, and it's the gradient itself is classic sock, and then the gray that's in here was a singles, and it's Sunshine Yarns, but I can't, Lux something, I think. It was the first time I'd ever used a single. When I was like, oh my gosh, what kind of yarn is this? I didn't know. I had never used a singles yarn because sock yarn is plied. So I had only ever used plied yarns. I'd never used a single before. So this was my first experience with a singles yarn. But my knitting was a little bit snug at this time. I probably could have gone up one needle size, but I love this and I still wear it all the time. It comes out on Valentine's Day because it's the perfect color for Valentine's Day. So, yeah, I did this one back in 2015. So, I actually taught myself to knit using YouTube videos and a couple of patterns that maybe were a little advanced for where I was at, but that's what helped me learn, was just seeing something I liked and saying, okay, I'm going to stitch it, and then figuring out how to stitch it. So I started when I was pregnant with my oldest. He turned 8 in March, so it's been almost 9 years that I have been knitting. And, I started simple and worked my way up. And actually, I didn't start very simply. You can, on Ravelry, my username is CandiceK31, and you can actually go and see all of my projects on there and all of my whips, which is why I wish we had something like this for cross stitch. You could just take pictures of your whips, and people could be like, oh, wasn't she working on whatever, and then go look. So that's the nice thing about Ravelry, is that you can just go look just to see what everybody else is working on, and then get ideas from them. Color ideas, design ideas, maybe they made some modifications. So I love to knit. It's the one craft that I picked up that I don't think I'll ever put down. And I just wish I hadn't stalled out for a while, because once I picked up this shawl the other day, I was like, why did I ever put this down? So I'm probably gonna stitch today and then maybe knit a little more tonight, maybe I need to schedule myself, do like daytime stitch during the daylight hours and then knit during the dark hours. I don't know, we'll see. But that is all I have for today. I have no idea. Oh, that's not bad. 35 minutes. I told my husband a half an hour, so that's not too bad. Thank you guys for your suggestions on whether to add knitting into videos or have separate ones. I think for now I'll just do them at the end. I don't think I have enough to talk about. Or maybe too much to talk about. I don't know. To make a completely separate video. So if you stuck it out this long, thank you for watching me again on my 4th episode. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.